right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I want to give honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. We say Barakate Yahweh, Barakate Yahushai, Barakate Yahweh, Barakate Yahushai, Barakate Yahweh, Barakate Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. And we give it up honor to our apostles and our elders, which are the apostle elders, a great millstone, which feed us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushai. 2025, which is the hopeful year of our deliverance and the destruction and the judgment of Esau. Let's jump right into this video. This is concerning the taxing, where these tariffs and all these things, because the average person doesn't look at it as our prices are going to go up. The prices of this food, everyday commodities, all these tariffs, all these injunctions that are happening with this new administration. And I'm going to play this clip here. And one thing that stuck out is that they said when it comes to tariffs, they said that Nero, okay, the current emperor of Rome, is he said he loves tariffs, and that just made me. I started looking into some information concerning Nero, and Nero was known for that. But we'll get into that later in the video. So I'm going to play this first part because this briefing, they say that he's being a realist. That guess what? Things are going to get bad. Things are going to get expensive. Things are going to get they're going to get worse before they get better. But they're not going to get better because this thing is moving towards the culmination of a new financial system. So you have to have a crash. So this is a controlled demolition. Okay, that's why all these things that are coming out with the federal employees being cut, furloughed, all these things, because if the government crashed, they would be out of a job anyway. There wouldn't be no money coming in. Just in the time of when you see, what is it called? When they have to increase the spending limit. There's funds that stop to the military and all these things, and that goes right back to Rome, because Rome was devaluating the money, and it was cutting it lower and lower, putting more inferior metals for superior metals. Okay, you had silver, then you had gold coins, and those were devalued as the empire decreased in its status. So you're seeing that information happen now in the current time, with all of these tariffs, all of these economical woes that are in the future. But this is Yahbashim Yahushua putting the squeeze on this place. Just the same thing with Jeroboam and Rehoboam. The people they were being taxed. They were going to be they weren't going to have a better outlook, okay, after Solomon. So the situation happened with us, so it's happening now with this current administration and this society. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this. This is fair use, fair use. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for any monetary gain. So let's play this. And I'm gonna skip around a little bit too. But this first part, they're telling you that the bread and the economics are gonna get hard on people.
Thank you, Caroline. Back on tariffs, last night President Trump said there will be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. Can you put a dollar figure amount on how much the average American family should expect to pay as this disturbance? And why should Americans be okay with that when so many are already struggling to pay the bills?
Well, first of all, last night, the president told the truth. And he was realistic, and he level set with the American people. And I think, frankly, it's very refreshing. And everybody in this room should be very grateful that we have a president who tells the truth about the reality of the economic situation that we are in. Unlike the previous president who lied to everybody's faces, saying inflation was transitory, saying it was under control, saying that the border was secure, when none of that was true. So the president is being frank and honest. And the American people elected this president to have monumental reform and change, including rebuilding our manufacturing base in this country, standing up to foreign nations who have been ripping off our country for decades. And that requires a little bit of disruption. That requires a lot of effort.
Disruption. That's how they're painting it. It's going to be disruption, but it's really going to be increase in taxes, increase in the amount that your money, or the less that your money can buy in these current times, and the access to certain things. All right. And they said this situation with the fentanyl, they said it was about a suitcase full, or less than a suitcase full of fentanyl that was coming in out of Canada. So you can tell it's for another reason. Okay.
and work that this president is focused on doing. With that said, as the president said last night, his administration is wholeheartedly committed, of course, to ending the inflation nightmare caused by the Biden administration. Look at the deregulation efforts. Look at the president's push last night in his speech for Congress to pass tax cuts in his first term in American. So the president expects that to happen. Cuts, tariffs. Democrat senator voted to protect cuts, tariffs, regulation cuts, and an energy industry that will
in the beginning. So I'm wondering, what message is that sending to not only young women who are competing in these sports across the
to doing what's right. We're told stand up for President for Women.
War with the U.S. resolution of U.S. concerns about fentanyl originating
with 20% and more with the reciprocal tariffs that will hit on April 2nd. But look, had and not only.
The president mentioned a little disturbance during his remarks yesterday. The CEO of Target says that consumers will likely see prices go up.
Crystal ball, as you know, the American people, with Secretary of Agriculture.
Hold on, let's find it. There we go.
He said it's one of his favorite words of the
There we go.
loves tariffs, but the stock.
He said he is committed to making America affordable again. He did it in his first term, and Americans can trust him to do it again.
President Trump has made clear, Caroline, that he loves tariffs, but the stock market does not. How does he factor that into his decision making?
Well, the president does love tariffs. He said it's one of his favorite words of the English dictionary, and he believes.
Right there. That's the point I wanted to get. So what I did was I looked up Nero taxed Rome heavily. And it says, yes, Nero increased taxes in Rome to fund the construction of his golden house and other projects. He also devalued the Roman currency to help pay for these costs. Okay, so the current president is in and is getting, because that's what a tariff is a tax. Okay, so just like Rome taxed back in the ancient world, they're taxing again. This is more proof that this is the Roman Empire. This is the beast with the deadly wound that was healed that is coming back again. History repeats itself. Why is that? Because these are the same players coming back in the reincarnation, okay, to do everything again. That's why they're doing, that's why history repeats itself, because same people are coming back, all right, in different roles or different sections, but they're still the same, because you have some situations where they would come back as friends or they would come back as father and son. If you read 2nd Ezra 11th and 12th chapter, if you go into those breakdowns, you can see that the Lord brought back certain individuals in the same power role to play out the same thing again. So that's the same thing that's happening now, is that all of these things that are leading is to go back down the same road, which is the falling and the destruction of this empire by way of civil war, all these things that are brewing. The government is more divided than ever. And this is just in their own news. You can look this up. You can clearly see that the situation is happening and it's intensifying. It's not getting any better because there's no money. You can tax your so-called clients so much before you have to run out of that option. But it says, how did Nero raise taxes? Increased taxes on providence. Nero imposed heavy tributes on the providence of the empire. And what do you think? Just like these other nations of China, that's just an extension of this society, okay? That's why it says that they gave their power to the beast. These other nations that have given the U.S. the status of the worldwide petrodollar, they're tributes. Because when you buy petrol or you buy gasoline or oil, you have to exchange it in the U.S. dollar. So the U.S. is getting a cut out of everybody's payment or out of everybody's so-called purchasing of oil. So that's somewhat of a tribute without coming and giving money directly, but America's getting the money out of it. Because if your currency is lower, you have to change it for the dollar to buy that oil. So you're going to get less if your money is not as powerful as the USD. So that's how it's wrong. That's how this place has the power over the current world. Okay, that's why these other nations that are moving away from the dollar and they're using their own currency, the U.S. isn't getting any cut out of that. That's why you have the situations going on with these skirmishes, different leaders, even with the situation with Russia, because Russia is a massive oil producer in the world. And then they start moving away from the dollar, that's going to cut into the funds that America once had. And I think before the war, Russia's oil trade in dollars was about 40-some%, if not 36 to 40% of their money was traded in dollars. when it came to petrol. Now, I think it's less than 20 or 15 or something like that because of these tariffs and different, they have to use a shadow fleet. That means it's ships that they trade with different countries not under the current banner of the Russian government. So they can still trade the oil and still get the revenue from the oil market, even though these sanctions are still imposed on them. It says seize valuables from the temple. Nero seized valuables from the temple to fund his projects. Squeezed Roman riches. Nero squeezed from Rome's richest citizens to pay for his projects. Devalued the currency. Nero devalued Rome currency, which increased inflationary pressure. See? So under the rulership and under the empire or the rulership of Nero, there was inflationary pressure. So what's happening now and getting ready to happen is inflationary pressure that's getting ready to come down the pike. So this is how history is repeating itself. And you said you heard him that tariffs are his favorite word. Okay, it says to find the necessary funds for the reconstruction. And what do they say? Let's build back better, build back America again. Okay, it says to find the necessary funds to reconstruct. Nero's government increased taxation. Particularly heavy tributes were imposed on the provinces of the empire. And America's empire is a worldwide empire. That's why you have a worldwide reserve currency. And then America is one of the highest consumer nations in the world. So these other nations are being taxed through these tariffs to so-called spend in America to give it more money. But really, the people are going to pay for it, okay, on the back end. That's why things are going to go higher and higher. It says particularly heavy tributes, Salakia, to meet at least a portion. It says particularly heavy tributes were imposed on provinces of the empire to meet at least a portion of the cost. Nero devalued the Roman currency, increasing inflationary pressure for the first time in the empire's history. And we know that this thing has been going on for a while with Babylon, but under his rule, there's going to be different changes because of the tariffs, because of the Make America First and having other nations pay to pretty much do business with America. And then what is he needing it for? To build back better, to build America again. So that's why you see the status of this place is still under the same vibration. And with this guy being in power, he's doing the same thing. So when I heard that, I said, damn, this has to be him. This is more proof that he's that guy, man. All right. So let's go ahead and pull this up. This is the precept. This is Isaiah 47 and verse 1. Come down, virgin daughter of Babylon, and sit in the dust. And what is the word dust? It's confusion. Okay, dust is another way of saying confusion, disorderly conduct. That's what you see happening right now in the worldwide stage. But Babylon is succumbing to that. It says, for your days of sitting on a throne have ended. See? And what's the throne? That's that status of a world power, namely with the petrodollar. So that status is losing itself. And then now they're having to pretty much bite on their own. They're biting on their partners and people that do business with them to get this money back on, or to get their status back on. It says, O daughter of Babylina, never again will you be the lovely princess, tender and delicate. Take heavy millstones and grind flour. Remove your veil and strip off your robe. Expose yourselves to the public view and all the wickedness, all the things that are coming out, especially now with the Doge, all the spending, all the worldwide, with the U.S. aid sector, all those things that they were doing is coming out in the open. And their tongues are falling upon themselves. Now the world is aware. The world knew these things were going on, but then now when you have America saying it out loud, now they can confirm the corruption and the things that were happening were correct, and it was true. It says, remove the veil, strip off your robe, expose yourselves to the public view. You will be naked and burdened with shame. See, I will take vengeance against you without pity. And that's what's happening right now. Yabashim Yashah is taking vengeance on this place, man. And it's not for us to get in our emotions or try to do. We're just pray to Yabashim Yashah that we have what we need, the provisions. That's why you lay up your treasures in heaven, to when the time of judgment comes, you can pull from that bank account. And it says, our Redeemer, whose name is the Lord, Yahweh, Lord of heaven's army, is the Holy One of Israel. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. O beautiful Babylon, sit now in darkness and silence. Never again will you be known as the Queen of Kingdoms. I was angry with my chosen people and punished them by letting them fall into your hands. That's showing you that there's a separation between who the Lord is dealing with and who the Lord has sent his people to be punished by, and that's these Edomites. And who is his people? You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because who was oppressed, who was built, who did this man build his foundation on top of? All right, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You, if it wasn't for your labor, if it wasn't for your slavery, if it wasn't for your displacements, this place wouldn't be what it was today. That's how you know that we are the people of Yahbashim Yahushai. All right, the people of the Bible, the Israelites. Okay, it says, I was angry with my chosen people and punished them by letting them fall into your hands. But you, Babylon, showed them no mercy. You oppressed even the elderly. See? You said, I will reign forever as a queen of the world. See, worldwide reserve currency. You did not reflect on your actions or think about your consequences. Listen to this. You pleasure-loving kingdom. Damn, tell me that ain't displaced, man. Living at ease and feeling secure. You say, I am the only one and there is none other. I will never be a widow or lose my children. Well, both these things will come upon you in a moment. Widowhood, the loss of children. Yes, these calamities will come upon you despite all your witchcraft and magic. And what do you got in America? Hollywood. And Hollywood is a wand. Okay? A hollow wood was used to make wands and witchcraft and magical spells. And if you see the entertainment world, it's totally given up to the left-hand side. And they pull from that left-hand magic side and worship deities, different idols, all these things, Molech. Okay, so this is more proof that this is what the scriptures, and this is the place that this scripture is speaking about. You felt secure in your wickedness. No one sees you. You said, but your wisdom and knowledge have led you astray. You said, I am the only one and there is none other. So disasters will overtake you and you won't be able to charm it away. Calamities will fall upon you and you won't be able to buy your way out. Let's go, man. Call halal. A catastrophe will strike you suddenly for one for which you are not prepared. And we coming to that time now, man. So prepare. We got the Pesach coming this week. A lot of heavy things are getting ready to take place. And the salvation of Israel, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, is closer than ever. So with that, I say call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chakwadash. Until the next time, I say shalom. And more not, and never keep faith. Shalom.